2022 Stanley Cup champions.
Hello and season's greetings, everyone. I am Nick. Beside me here is Britt. We're part of the Cluster Puck podcast, which is part of the MHRT network. You can go ahead and follow us. We definitely appreciate that. Anywhere you can get your news, MHRT network, so you can see shows when they go live. Follow us specifically at Cluster Puck Avs on Twitter, Instagram, Cluster Puck Podcast on Facebook. Comments, concerns, questions, emotional outbursts, you can email us at clusterpuckpodcast @gmail.com. I'll get it right one of these days. I really will.
It's a mouthful.
But I've so far only had one emotional outburst, and that was my own when I was setting up the email, apparently. But anyways, shows go live Monday, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. We're gonna try to do this in a timely manner. We got puck drop in about an hour against the Islanders, but holidays are up right now, so let's see if we get some quick Christmas gifts that we've bought for anyone else. Let's see. I bought my wife and I got a brand new hockey stick for Allie, and it's a really nice one too. We're very excited for her. What about you, Britt? Any fun gifts that Santa's bringing you or the kid?
I'm kind of at one of those points in my life where like I asked for like silverware for Christmas. I am pretty excited. My little brother got my kid a new stick, so he's like all about the duck stuff. So my kid is getting showered with duck stuff. My child named McKinnon is getting showered. He's all about the Mighty Ducks. So I'm excited for him to get his presents this year. And then my parents are surprising him with a trip to Dells. Wisconsin Dells, is that what it is? The indoor one.
Wisconsin Dells.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
I think I'm just as excited for that as he is.
Well, that's fun. That's super fun. Well, let's hope he doesn't see this episode until after Christmas, right?
Nope.
Or does he already know?
No, he doesn't yet, but
Good deal.
Doesn't listen.
Good deal. Yep. Well, fun. Well, hope you guys have a happy holidays. Let's jump right into it then. Not too much events. I mean, obviously there was a trade that happened, right? We can discuss that, but I know, absolute blockbuster. But other than that, just pieces coming back, players coming back. So let's discuss that.
It feels like we've made big trades, but really it's just
it does. It's just trades within Loveland and Denver is what it is. So the trade that went down this morning was the Avalanche trade away Dryden Hunt in exchange for, I don't remember how many goals he scored. There was a graphic that I saw, but I can't exactly remember anymore. And I can't remember
it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, it was. Anyways, it was the forward. I can't even remember his name. Dennis.
Oh my gosh! Now
hang on,
Migler or whatever. But he was on a line with Tavares.
He was. Hang on, I can get the name right here. I don't know. Dennis Malgin.
Malgin. I always want to say Malkin every time I hear it, but it is Malgin.
Malgin.
And so he seems to be like the scapegoat of Toronto, as I was saying earlier. It's like they kind of had some high hopes for him. And then it just wasn't working out. And Tavares is having himself a heck of a season. He played with Tavares a little bit. He's a center though. So we traded a wing.
That's a left winger for a center. That's the only difference there.
Yeah.
But apparently, as far as this trade is concerned, it sounds like, and again, I don't know very much about Malgin. Mm-hmm. It sounds like the Avalanche won, I guess, if you want to call it that, this trade. They upgraded in that department. As it stands right now, let's see if we can get a goals right now. He's got 2 goals, 2 assists, -1, 4 penalty minutes. I mean, but on his career, 30 goals.
Right. And the thing is with Malgin, I think that Toronto had expectations for him, whereas with Dryden Hunt, I don't think that he had big expectations with the Rangers or with us. So we are kind of good at little reclamation projects. So who knows, what we can do with Malgin if he
Yeah.
fits some better than Dryden Hunt.
And it could be one of those Nichushkin situations where it just wasn't gelling at his
Right.
former team, but then he comes
Right.
on to Colorado and boom, he's all of a sudden one of the best on the team, which obviously you hope for every time you get one of the players. But
yeah, and
no,
I don't know what the ceiling is for Malgin, or even, what I wouldn't think that it's too high, but we'll see. I mean, it can't be, I don't want to say any worse than Dryden Hunt as though he was just horrific, but we'll see.
Yeah, because the one thing I will be missing about Dryden Hunt was his physical play. Guy took hits and gave hits, and he did a very good job of that, which I know isn't a ton as far as like production goes, but it's still nice to have, like, if someone hits you, you got a guy that hits them back. But I guess now that
the leagues are trying to get more gritty, so
that's right. And maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe it's a project that Toronto thinks that they can take and use and make him better, and who knows, it might happen, might not. But sad to see him go. But in either sense, welcome Dennis to the Colorado Avalanche.
Which is weird because
scoring a goal.
We picked up Hunt kind of to replace Sedlak a little bit, who was picked up off of waivers by the Flyers. And then I just saw, I don't know if you saw it, but Sedlak and the Flyers had agreed for like putting him on waivers with the attention for contract termination. He's going back to Czech, I think.
Oh, I didn't see this news.
Exactly. Basically, he's going back to Europe. So, and that's what my dad's like, I wonder why. I'm like, well, the coaching in Philadelphia leaves something to be desired for many.
A one coach with the nickname Tortorella.
Yeah. Well, I almost wonder if going from Bednar to Torts is probably not, when you're like a up and down kind of guy. I don't know. I can't imagine it's a very fun place to be. No,
but in either sense, like, and that's kind of exactly what we think it's going to be. It's a depth trade. We don't know if this will take off somewhere, but you never know with where everyone's at right now and with the team, the injuries that are going on. You never know if Malgin goes ahead and
these depth over. They're super important to us right now, more than they should be. That's for damn sure. I mean, we could have definitely used Sedlak here and there. So we'll see. Yep. Hopefully we'd have no use for him come.
Hopefully not. But we did get our heavy hitter back in Curtis McDermott. I believe he's going to be playing today, if I'm not mistaken. He is fully cleared, at least that's as much as I know. So I'd anticipate him to be on the ice. So should be fun. But we did get better. The team got better throughout last week, posing a 2-1 record. The only blemish was the Buffalo game, but you went and remedied yourself against the Flyers. You went out and beat Nashville again. Rodriguez came back, which is always great news because he netted a goal even.
I mean, he really didn't skip a beat. It was nice. It was real nice having him back.
Yeah, he's one of those players that from last season, you just kept hearing Rodriguez goal. Rodriguez was always doing something. And so when he came to the Avalanche, that was my biggest thing that I was excited for, was him to just produce.
Right. And so many people were doing just that. On the line with Crosby, but I mean, he's definitely proved that he doesn't need Crosby on his line to score.
Yeah, definitely. And that's just it, So I believe it was the Buffalo game that he came back? I think it was. Maybe not. I don't remember.
He came back for the Buffalo game, and he scored off that Cale Makar rebound. Nice.
That's right.
Real nice.
Yeah, so the Flyers game, we'll just touch on that real quick, because the Buffalo game, again, like I said, the only blemish, it's about the only real thing that we have to make critiques on. But that Flyers game, you go down 1-0, Taves and Lehkonen score. Lehkonen's shorthanded, by the way, which is
Mhm.
great. That's always a welcome sight.
Yeah.
And then JT Compher comes in and nets a goal. And
Yeah.
I think that's been
That's
a
the theme of last
very
week.
big thing for him. Yeah, it was he's getting like progressively more involved in the game, I guess is what I
Right.
want to say, which is always a welcome sight.
Yeah, by the time we got to Nashville, he was first line center, which never would you have thought that JT Compher would be first line center for a Stanley Cup winning
Nope.
team, but he earned it. And that's something that I really respect about Bednar. Last week we saw Frankie get 2 consecutive starts, and Bednar said he
A
earned
very
it.
good job for him too. Yeah.
Yeah. Compher,
Definitely.
he took that big he took that shootout shot. I mean, he's being rewarded for the things that he's doing well.
Yeah.
Do I think that JT Compher playing first line center is sustainable? No. I don't think that his production has proven to be something that's not always going to be consistent like that. But he's stepping up when we need him, and that's what that clutchness is.
Yeah. The one good thing about him, though, at least that I'm finding quite admirable from JT Compher, is he's winning faceoffs. He is in the upper echelon of the faceoff percent. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
55% against the Flyers in that game. 116 lost 13, but still, if he's taking the majority of your faceoffs and winning those majorities,
yeah,
I see no reason to stop.
If he keeps winning those faceoffs, he's putting himself in a position to get more goals too, because he's going to be taking some of those less sheltered zone starts. He's going to be taking more offensive zone starts. If we're looking to win those faceoffs, those offensive zone starts, that's where you end up netting more goals. You'll see people with the less sheltered minutes getting less goals because they're starting those defensive. There's a lot that goes into that, but it's definitely helping him out as far as goals, assists, and just overall impact on the game. And he's finding ways to give back for getting those starts. So I don't know. I think it's awesome. I don't know that it's necessarily sustainable, but that's just kind of who JT Compher is to be important when it's important. So
yeah,
really
and
awesome with him.
Exactly. And for right now, I think he's totally fine. And like you asked for sustainability, I think he's good enough to kind of fill in for McKinnon while he's out.
Right.
And that could be a big, show me for Bednar.
Right.
Is to say, hey, I'm putting you between Lehkonen and Rantanen right now.
Yep.
Go and prove that you are capable of producing with the top line, because it sure seems like he's getting a lot of chances. He's had a lot that were either blocked shots, but they were really good looks, whatever it is. But it's just some of those times where you're just like really, really hopeful that he does get something like a goal per game or an assist or something to show that he is producing, getting points per game.
Well, and you know what it is? It's a contract year, so.
And that's exactly what I was thinking too. It's like he's
able to report him.
and I think this might be his big year, right? Because I can't remember how old he is exactly, but this one would probably, if he did well enough, would take him to the end of his career even.
Yeah, and that's what guys like him, they're desired. I mean, very desired. It's especially if he can improve himself to be competent for a second line center spot. I mean,
and this just makes me think back of 2 seasons ago. We had a guy by the name of Jonas Donskoy. I don't remember if you remember that name, but that was kind of that same boat where he was kind of where Compher is getting to, where you could always rely on Donskoy in those types of situations. Now, Donskoy gets expanded, drafted to Seattle. I don't even know what happened to him. I've never even seen him play for like the last 2 seasons. But regardless, Compher is getting to that echelon where it's like as soon as he hits the ice, you feel like he's not a liability. He feels, and I guess he never was a liability. He was always one of those players that you knew you could depend on to at least not make mistakes.
Right.
But now it's his movement into the, all right, he's not made mistakes. Let's have him actually go and produce. And that's kind of the big thing. It's like there's 3 stages. There's you're making mistakes, you're not making mistakes, you're producing,
Yeah.
So he's getting into that 3rd stage. But a big win though overall against the Flyers. One of those that you just
it was
you
a moral
like
win
to have. It was a very moral victory. You got your revenge factor taken care of and out of the way.
No
And
power
you
play
thought
goals though, for either team.
that's
No
that's
power
right.
play.
That's absolutely right.
Like
Which and
we
that's one thing to discuss though. It's like our power play,
Yep, it's bad.
it disappeared. It
And
was
that's
number one in the
McKinnon.
league and then just
McKinnon.
poof. And I don't know. And that's the thing. It's like, how much of that can we attribute to Nathan McKinnon?
What's insane is we had such a massive lead that I'm pretty sure I heard during last night's game that we're still like 4th in the league for power play goals.
Yeah.
Even though we just went, how many until last night? We went what?
It was like 18.
Games? Yeah,
18, 0 for 18 or something until we finally got one.
I think we had 3 chances with Philadelphia, and then the Buffalo game wasn't too. I think we only had 2, didn't we?
I bet I could pull it up in 2 seconds. Let's see here.
But then we finally got one. But yeah, that tells
2 and
me
we
how
got 2.
Insanely far ahead we must have been to start the year, considering we went through that without moving down past 4th, or every other team in the league is just horrible at scoring on power.
Yeah, and hopefully it's kind of taken a turn for the better because of that goal that we finally got against Nashville.
Yes,
to break that dry spell, essentially is what it is. But it was, I don't know. I want to say a lot of it is attributed to Nathan McKinnon because it feels like when McKinnon is on that first power play unit or even on the bench watching the second unit, stuff happens, right? And what I mean by happens is there's like a lot of fluid movement instead of just like pass around and just back and forth. And it's just that is one of the most frustrating things. It's like we can get into the zone just fine nowadays, most of the time. But now it's like once we've set up shop, all we're doing is looking for that open pass, and it's like
Well, the thing about having that on the ice is he's essentially, and he's discussed this somewhat, that he's basically a distraction on the ice at this point.
Yeah.
They focus so hard on him that it opens up ice and time and looks for everyone else. And at this, with us having missed and still missing most of our top players, they don't have to, other teams don't have to focus, they don't have to be that we always have to worry about Tage Thompson, or there's always that one person on the ice. we haven't really had to, they haven't had to work hard beyond our first line. And even our first line is JT Comfort, it's been pretty easy work for other teams, but especially with Lehkonen back and Rodriguez back, that really spreads out
It does. And exactly kind of what we were talking about was the ability that more playmakers are coming back, right? Because it's all the playmakers that we lost, right? So it's that kind of, I don't want to call it a growing pain again, but it's just reacclimating. Like it took Nichushkin a couple games to feel like he was back into the swing of things,
Yep.
And unfortunately for, some people on the team, it just took a little longer for them to actually come back to 100%.
Yeah.
And it showed mostly in the next game we'll talk about, Buffalo. That game, if there was ever the definition of getting in your own way, it'd be that game.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I don't know, it wasn't a very fun game. I like watching Tage Thompson score against every other team, but not like this.
Yeah, it's like you knew. I don't want to say like I was planning on a goal because I don't think a shutout was exactly in the card just because of how offensively potent Buffalo is.
Right. You guys Thompson literally throwing out touchdowns on teams. Almost by himself.
So I did have on my bingo card Tage Thompson goal though. Like it just, that guy is just unworldly.
But did you have it in the first 17 seconds?
No, I didn't have it then. But it still was a little. I don't know what you guys. So in our family, for bingo cards, we use beans and M&Ms, either or depending on the season. But it's just a little bean on the square. But anyway, the game, like statistically, we were better than Buffalo by quite a hefty margin. You outshot them 41-21. You outhit them 24-10. You won the faceoffs 48-21. Like. It's almost 70% of the faceoffs you won. You did everything right, except for putting the puck in the goal.
Right. And that's what, by the eye test, it was really just like pretty unappealing game. There was a lot of stuff. Just a lot fell off. I don't know. And I think it's just that first goal, it's just a big buzzkill. And I've said it before.
It is.
I really wish I could know the statistics of how often the Avs come back or win when our goalie lets in a goal within the first minute of the game, because I felt like all the way back to Hutchison, Johansson, when we were going through the whole rotating goalie, it was always like if they let in a goal in the first minute, which we did very often. Do you remember how many times JoJo, Grubauer, Frankie would let the first shot of the game in? And I always told my dad and
then it was catch up ever since. Yep.
Yeah. And that's what, I don't know. I just got that bad feeling, but I think maybe I manifested that.
But you're absolutely right. And with this game, it's like you can't blame the Avalanche for lack of trying, because obviously the numbers prove that they did, right? And if you were to count blocked shots, like player blocked shots, we were in like the 70s.
Yeah,
like it was crazy.
It definitely felt like one of the first like quantity over quality shooting nights for the Avs when we don't bust out our game very often. So we took a lot of shots. I don't remember what the shot count was. But also, Ukko, Puko, Huko, Lukanen, he comes out and plays fantastic. I mean, he really did.
Yeah.
And the goals that were let in, they were good goals. That Darlene was an absolute snipe. As Ali said, Tage Thompson's goal, disgusting. I would have thoroughly enjoyed it against anyone other than
anyone else.
And he just got it too. He almost had it.
Like, I'm at a point where it's like I can't be mad at Tage Thompson for stuff like this, because the man's just a skating highlight reel at this point. It's like he just,
it's insane.
Oh, it was such a filthy goal, but it was beautiful, and so that's why I'm like, I can't be mad at that because of how pretty that goal was.
Yep. And that's maybe maybe you could ask for the Tuch goal that was rebound, maybe better rebound control, but
yeah,
I don't think you can blame the goalie in this game.
And that's the thing. It's like I said at the beginning, we got in our own way, like I said, and statistically, we were the better team in all the categories, and it seemed to show with puck possession as well. It's like we had it a good chunk of the time, but it just seemed like for like odd man rushes, for example, it's like we make a good pass, and then a dud of a pass, and all of a sudden that whole thing's
or you've got Myers
scoring chances or
wide open,
or Nichushkin missing an open one, or
yeah. I mean,
just dumb little things where it's like puck luck wasn't on your side, the ice was too wet, it's like just things that would end up being a kind of a torment for the opposing team ended up being a torment for you. So just and you're down 3-0 by the end of the second period, and you're just like, okay, let's just get it over with. It's like, be
that's
done.
a gnarly
but kind of similar to the first Philly game, it's like we came back. Then it became 3-2 with like 2.5 minutes or a minute and a half, or something that it's like you need a miracle to win again. But then Cousins nets the empty netter. You're like, okay, I didn't think it was too good to be true anyways at this point, but it was still at least you didn't get shut out by someone who had never posted a career shutout in his life. So.
Yeah. Well, and it was hard to see Taze, he smashed his stick at the end.
Oh, that's how I felt. Yeah.
I don't know. I think the biggest concern at this point, especially with the guys coming back, is just like, how can we ride Taze and Makar like this? I mean, we're seeing a toll on their offensive impact.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, at this point, I have to pray that it goes uphill from here. And have you heard anything on Bo Byram? Anything? I mean, is he
still week to week, as far as I know? I think it was Peter Baugh that said he's still week to week. I thought he'd be back by now, to be completely honest.
At what point do we need to look at trading for a defenseman at the deadline? As
I know.
We talk about Jonathan Taze, but
make Bo Horvat a defenseman.
Well, and
see how that goes.
We're missing Manson and Bo, and it feels like we're missing a lot more than that. And I suppose we've been missing McDermott too, which I don't know. It's just McDermott is better than, I suppose, McDonald playing D. but
Mhm.
I don't know. It feels like our D should be deeper than it is to be able to lose a couple and
Yeah.
still
Well,
not
and
have
that actually brings up a good question. So as it sits right now, the first and second defensive pairings, it's Makar and Gerard,
Yeah, that was
right? And then they're putting Taves together with, I think, is it EJ?
which honestly EJ has
I
played
think.
very good this last
Yeah,
week.
he's played just sound
Played
defense, which is
balls off.
great.
Yeah.
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 But I'm noticing, like, with Gerard being out there with his defensive pairing with Makar, he's showing that he's better than when he's paired with anyone else, at least in my opinion.
Gerard has had a rough couple games. Hopefully, honestly, like a rough couple months since he came back, really. It feels like he struggled. Hopefully he can find his place again, because I'm just not on the like trade Gerard, fuck Gerard. It gets really old to me. So I'm hoping that he can find it, because he has struggled. But we've seen Makar get burnt throughout this. I mean, Makar and Taze, I don't know. I just feel like we got to stop playing him so much. And I know that I'm not a Stanley Cup team coach, but it feels like it's not sustainable for them at all. I just don't see it. And the injuries worry me. And it just sucks to see them doing so much less offensively, because they're so bound to having to play such tight D. So I don't know. That's just kind of my rant, but
no, and it totally has merit, because right now I think who's the last besides Makar that got his empty netter last game? When did we have a defenseman goal? It's like, and that's not to say that should be the expectation.
Got one last week, but it was Taze got one against the Flyers, but that was only his second goal of the year.
Yeah, only his second. So I guess that's correct. But like, other than that, it's like after Manson got injured and Byram got injured, it seems like just not a lot of stuff was gelling, So hopefully that does come back, and I'm sure it will. But as long as the defense is playing defense, that's okay. But a lot of
going to do that too.
Oh yeah. But I think, like, from last season, the Stanley Cup season that we had, it seemed like our defensemen were even better than most teams' offenses.
And that's what our game was, and it feels like a big gap.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think that losing Manson, and obviously losing Bo, but frankly, how many games has Bo played versus been out the last 2 years? So I don't know.
Yeah. And maybe it is a reoccurring thing with his concussion that's making him miss time. Who I don't know, who
they said lower body injury, but
that's what I think. But
they would clarify at this point. It kind of worries me that maybe there's some mental health stuff going on. I do worry about him. I know that he had a big struggle during his timeout, but I don't know. It's hard when they don't communicate that at all, and I know that we're not entitled to that, but it's scary. Everybody's got a special.
You just want to know. That's all you want to know is what exactly it is. You'll leave it alone after that. It's just information. That's all you want.
Because something that keeps crossing my mind is, we all want to sign him 8 years.
Long term, yeah.
But it's like, how much time has he missed? I mean, how injury prone is he, to where how valuable are you if you truly can't play even half a season? It's scary.
Yeah. But he'll still week to week, but I'm sure he'll be back. But like we said, Curtis McDermott is back, our goon. I'll bet he gets in a fight today.
You think so?
I bet he does. I bet he tries to pick off someone like Pajot or something. I don't know. But and then Helm is coming back soon. So
it feels like it's been like he's been in a regular jersey for like 2 weeks and just
he's been like flip-flopping. He actually went from non-contact to contact to non-contact contact, and now he's back in non-contact. It's like, oh my gosh. But I know Bednar said he's getting closer there, so I'm hoping this week, because it seems like for like Rodriguez, at least, he was in non-contact for like 3 practices and then back to a regular sweater and boom.
Transition, but
yeah. So I'm hoping he comes close, because it's going to be a breath of fresh air for the depth when Darren Helm comes back.
God.
It's one of those things where it's like you don't realize how much you're missing him until you're missing him.
You just couldn't not have like a AHL players on a full entire line. It's
someone with NHL base experience, and in his case, well, how long was he with the Red Wings? Like 12 years, 16 years, like a ton. But just someone with a ton of NHL experience, and he can contribute offensively when his time comes. He scores goals, but not yet. He's still I don't know how long out, but hopefully he comes close. But and the last game we'll touch on real quick, the game against Nashville, that one looked a lot better as far as the offensive production went. Goals with Rantanen on the power play. You broke the curse. Thank you. Newhook getting his 7th, I believe that was, of the season, which it doesn't feel like he has 7, but you're happy to have it. It was a great goal it was so beautiful.
It was. He's been reading the Twitter talk about maybe it's time to trade Newhook for
pretty much.
So you're up. Dare you.
Up 2-0 by the end of the second period. About opening the third period, another Avalanche player scores, Matt Duchene. Oh, did I say Avalanche player?
Yeah. Because God forbid he just didn't.
It just seems like he only scores against Colorado, or every time we play him, it's always Matt Duchene that scores a goal.
Yeah, we're always guaranteed.
That was part of the trade. Yeah, that was part of the trade clause, is I have to score every goal against you.
Yep.
But then Cale Makar, 200-foot goal, amazing stuff, empty net.
I'll take it.
Oh, great stuff. Because you were worried that they would come back. It was one of those, like, Nashville wasn't exactly, they didn't give up, but just seemed like toward the end of that game, the momentum was definitely heading their way.
Yeah.
So a good buzzkill to have on there for them, I should say. There you go. 3 constants in life: death, taxes, and Duchesne scoring against the Av. But great. Just back in the win column. You're feeling good. You got players coming back, and now we're rolling into this week. Before we do that, though, I do want to touch on one thing. One question that I have that I'll pose to you, Brittini, is: do Myers, Hudon, and Foodie get goals this week?
Oh, well, okay. So,
or soon. I guess I'll let it be soon, kind of more open-ended.
I think they have to. Hudon pushes balls to the wall every single chance he has in front of the net. Myers is like good enough to get himself in positions to score and then somehow seems to miss the net like a lot. Mm-hmm. So if he could just finish one of his chances, I don't know. It seemed like the magic around Foodie kind of faded a little bit to people. Did he get sent down? Did he get called back up?
As far as I know, he should be. He should still be up here. The only one that I remember being called back up is I don't even remember anymore because he's been down there. 61 Martin Kaut.
No, it was called back up. Which
and I think that's because Dryden Hunt was gone.
Oh yeah.
So
what do you think? Do you think one of those guys will do it?
I think actually, if anyone has the chance to score, it's going to be Foodie first.
Do you?
Just because the speed and athleticism that guy has is just, it's Nathan McKinnon-esque. It's really incredible. And you know, he's at a point where I think his footing is there. You know, it's like, okay, you got your training wheels off, now go and do something, you know. And it's not for lack of trying. Like, I think against Buffalo, he had 2 really good looks. He made a couple of great moves, great passes. You know, this week, I just know this week one of those 3 is going to have a goal. The other 2, I think, can get assists, and I think it's going to be Foodie.
What the lines will be for tonight, I don't know. I haven't really gotten to look at them too much, but honestly, I'd be thrilled for any of them to get a goal. I think they're all super awesome. Absolutely. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's kind of like you know, it's been fun to see you give it your best shot. And now it's kind of like moving into the expectation phase of
They
now
should be
you can finish on that play, or, you know, instead of just saying, wow, it was a good pass or something. It's like, hey, make something become of that play, you know, instead of the E for effort type stuff. So that was just a quick side note though. So getting into this week, we have the Islanders, and that puck drop starts in about 25 minutes?
I was just seeing if I could pull up the lines for him quick.
Yeah. So while you're looking that up, then I'll go ahead and get into my key to the game. I usually do keys, but I only did one because this was from last game. If you have a lead, keep it. And that was with I'm going to put a couple extra exclamation points on my notes there because that was the one time you had a great lead and just choked it away. Yeah, you don't have exactly the same squad that you did, but you have enough where I think you can be offensively dangerous, score early, which has also been kind of a lately struggle is scoring early for the Avalanche. But if you do get the lead, please, please, please keep it. That's all I ask. I don't care how. I don't care. I just keep the lead. That's all. That's my only key
to do. We've proven we're not a comeback team right now, so we need to get the lead early.
We do. We desperately do. Let's see. Do you have the lines open yet, or?
I'm trying to find like anything definitive post about it. Foodie and Hudon did get sent to the AHL. Expect Martin Count, Jacob McDonald, and Curtis McDermott to be in the lineup.
Oh, so they are back down.
We might be short Hudon, Foodie. That's from Peter Baugh, which I trust him about as much as anyone. So
okay.
And Mal not playing for us tonight. So
well, I still stand by what I say. I think at some point they get a goal this week.
Yeah, I don't think that they're gone for good.
No, some will get injured. I'm sure some will get injured. That just seems to be our luck. But, so with the Islanders team, though, they've lost 3 of their last 4 going into tonight, with losses to Carolina and Boston, which it's like, okay, yeah, you can expect that, but a loss as well to Arizona. And then they beat Vegas. So it's like you don't really know. Say that again.
And I think that Varley is injured right now, which he usually stands up to play against us a little bit better. But I think he's injured right now, which
so we're thinking it's Sorokin in net then.
I think so.
Okay. But yeah, so it's like it's kind of a it says Varlamov played last. So maybe it is Sorokin.
Protected lineup, it shows Lehkonen, Rantanen, Nichushkin first line, Newhook, Rodriguez, Kaut second line, Cogs, Comfort, O'Connor third line, McDonald, Myers, McDermott fourth line, Gerard and McCarrigan, Taze, Johnson, Hunt, England, and then Georgie's in net.
Cool. Yeah. Well, dang. I was really hoping that some of the young guys would have got some experience tonight, but I'm sure if Kaut doesn't produce too well.
I was gonna say this is Kaut's last chance.
Last. But
love of God.
Yeah, and did I mention I think that goal will come from Foodie down in Loveland? Yeah, totally what I meant.
For Loveland, so happy to have them back though.
I guarantee you. They can go back to their winning ways now that they got all these NHLers coming down. But New York, like I said, they're kind of a mixed bag of nuts right now. It's like you lose 3-0, or they lose, I should say, 3-0 to Carolina. They lose in shootouts to Boston. They lose to Arizona, and they win against Vegas pretty handedly. But it alternated between Varlamov, Sorokin, Varlamov, Sorokin, Varlamov.
Yeah.
So it should be, if trend's set, it should be Sorokin. But, it's just
it says Varley is day-to-day out, so.
Oh, so either way, it should be Sorokin. But the team, I just don't know what much to say about them, So that's why there's only the one key to the game. It's like there's, other than the fact that they can come back.
They played the long game, just the strong, tight, slow D, if they play a full 60 minutes and we don't, then that's where we get burned. Yeah,
exactly. And that's just it. It's like that was my only note to the game was if you have a lead, keep it, just because it's like if you're an Avs player, you know what you should be doing. You practice this day in and day out, so go and apply what you practiced. Not too much to say outside of that. So I'm expecting good, solid hockey. I'd love to see goals come early and often, and especially taking advantage of power plays. If there's someone that we can do it, and as my wife said, is that Sorokin has been playing pretty shaky. This was the comment I was looking for. those are his saves percentages in those games. It's like
It's pretty gnarly.
you should be able to at least get something out of that. So that's ultimately the only notes that I would have for the Islanders game is, besides score early and often, is just keep the lead.
Yeah.
That'd basically be it. Next team on Wednesday, the Habs are coming into town. Les Canadiens de Montreal. They have been on a 4-game losing streak as of late.
They're just a weird team.
I think really the only two players you have to worry about on that team are Suzuki and Caulfield.
Pretty
I
much.
don't really know. I mean, yeah, they'll have players that'll score goals and stuff like that, but like they lose 3-2, 5-2, 5-1. You know, it's like their production hasn't been very big, and the ones that they have won, you know, like the last win they had was a 2-1 over the Flames.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
They are
I need
also
to work on
last in the league for power plays. So
yeah. My wife
And-
says I need to work on my French. I tried my best. All right. Just because she's good at like any language known to man. But that's the thing. I feel like in this game, it's like you scored 2 or 3 and you're basically guaranteed a win.
Right.
At least
this would be a good game to light it up and just kick someone's ass for the first time.
Yeah.
Because they're not getting goaltending.
This would be the team
starting.
Mm-hmm. That would be the team to do it.
He's got 3.5 goals against average almost and sub 900.
Yeah, and that's just it. It's like there's really no offensive production per se to worry about unless something goes terribly wrong. Because remember, they are an NHL team. They did go to the Stanley Cup 2 years ago.
Right.
Granted, they're not the same team, but still, they are an NHL team. They you know, you still got to go out and play.
Yeah.
But I feel like just with who's out on the ice and how things have been going, I don't really see this as too much of an issue, unless, again, it's one of those Buffalo games where just nothing was going your way. You're making mistakes, hurting yourself.
Yeah.
So unless that happens.
It's been a while since we've had true puck luck, but puck luck generally derives from putting yourself in places too, which is kind of a result of having so many AHL players. So it'd be kind of nice to see us getting some lucky bounces by putting ourselves in more opportune positions, and maybe with considering we have back half of our top 6.
That would be great.
We could get back to kicking some butt.
That would be fantastic. And if Darren Helm comes back for this game, what a great game for him to get back on his feet. Nothing like netting some goals, but yeah, the only real key to the game is just forward momentum. You know, if you win against the Islanders tonight, carry that win streak that you have. Now it'd be 2 games, right? Carry that forward, finish out your homestead, your 5-game homestead with another win, you know, and you'd feel great going into your next game. So forward momentum. And I think this, just like what you said, if there's ever a time that we should go out and just absolutely just blow the doors off the arena with offensive firepower, it would be that one. I absolutely agree. Let's see.
Now we get to move on and do it.
we get to move on to Nashville, and this one is apparently in Nashville. I'm hoping that nothing happens to that poor arena.
The footage that they showed?
There was new footage that came out.
Holy crap! We're not just talking.
I thought it was just the concourse.
Like the Zamboni is submerged. Holy
Everything was underwater. I didn't even see the lower levels or anything like that. I just saw the footage of the concourse.
Game for them to have canceled. Honestly, that they only had to cancel 1 game.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Multiple foots of water.
Yeah, because in Bridgestone Arena, what they have when you go into, I'm guessing it's kind of, you know, status quo for the rest of stadiums, but it's like you go in with a bus or a truck or whatever it is, and there's this kind of ramping dock area that there is in the arena there. That thing was a pool of like 4 feet of water.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was like, okay, I understand. Because looking at the first footage, it was like, okay, it was like a puddle. Water. You know, it's like, okay, you made a skating rink in the gift shop.
They said 600,000 gallons, which I was asking Michael, and I forgot to look it up. Isn't that exactly what an Olympic-sized pool is?
Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think was 600,000 gallons. I think that's what they said. And I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of water. But yeah, that's impressive that they only had to cancel one game. And
let's see. This does say 660,000 gallons.
600 or 60?
660,000
Oh,
gallons.
okay. Yeah, I could have sworn that I had heard at one point. So yeah, that's an Olympic-sized pool they had chilling in the rink, and clearly it all moved down very fast and just.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot worse than we initially thought it was, because we were just like, okay, the main broke and whatever. But yeah, looking at that new footage, there were like the emergency exit stairways. It was just a waterfall coming through, like doorways, like everything was just submerged. Yeah, definitely a lot worse than we thought. Anyways, I digress about that. We're now going. No, It was quite a thing. If you haven't seen it, we suggest you go and take a look. It's pretty amazing.
Way worse than the dude just like tiptoeing through an inch and a half of water.
Yeah, because he looked like he would just kind of like, back when you were 8 years old playing in the rain and there's a puddle, But no, it's pretty amazing. Anyways, so we're in Nashville now. Finally, you get to play the game that's probably going to, if we're going to lose that game, it's going to be because of the referees and a too many men call. But anyways, the only key to the game I have in Nashville is just play smart, clean hockey. And this derives from the last game that we had just a couple nights ago. If I go to the team stats here, we were almost 50-50 in the faceoffs. We were 48%, but the biggest thing was that we held them to 0 power play goals, limiting them to 2 opportunities on the power play, a relatively clean game, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that I would I don't necessarily think it needs to be too clean is hits. Maybe bring that number up. But ultimately, if you limit them on the power play chances and hold them to them, because our power play or our penalty kill has been doing better,
right?
I think.
And that's also kind of a sign of us having less AHL players taking stupid penalties because they just can't keep up. We felt that pretty hard with like England and Hunt and even Foodie. I mean, Foodie took like 2 penalties his first game, didn't he? And when
I think he took one. I don't necessarily agree with it, but the call is what it is, But
the thing is, most of them were hooking and interference and things that you do because you can't quite keep up. So hopefully as we get more in our comfort zone with those guys and just have less of them in general, it'll help.
Yep.
And also, yes, just don't let Matt Duchene score, for the love of God. Just mark him.
That's not a key to the game that I'm going to put on there just because I feel like he'll score.
Life key.
It's kind of a given, But yeah, just kind of play that same game. You're up. You've won both games so far this season. 5-3 the first game, if I'm not mistaken, and then 3-1 this next game. So again, Saros not up to that Vezina caliber that he was last season, so take advantage of it. You'll be doing just fine. I think with the team you have, and you've shown that you've beat them before, i.e. 2 days ago, you can go out into Bridgestone Arena in Nashville and do it again. I see no reason.
We light up the best goalies and then we get shut out by Connor Ingram or Martin Jones. It was so weird. Who was it? Thompson. That we gave him his introduction to the NHL with Vegas when he shut us out like 49 saves. He let him one goal. So,
and that's just it. It's like anyone who's trying to prove themselves, they always look at us as a marquee matchup, saying, "Oh, if I could show up against the Avalanche, Stanley Cup champions, I bet you I could get a solidified spot on the team." And so, go freaking figure. They go ahead and play their best game of hockey and. But that's kind of the problem you are always faced with as King of the Hill, Stanley Cup champions, is that people will always put their best foot forward against you, which is good. You want to have that to kind of gauge yourself again. This year's been a bit different because of injuries and stuff, but it's still a good problem to have because it's like, if this is the best they can give you in any given game for any given team, and you are still going out and winning or finding ways to come back or something like that. Exactly. Right. You kind of know exactly what will happen once our team is fully healthy,
right?
So, but in either sense, those are the 3 games coming up. New York tonight, puck drops in about 9 minutes. Well,
Yes.
game time's in 9 minutes. Montreal to close out the 5-game home slate, and then at Nashville on Friday. And then after that, you're taking the game off that would have been Sunday for Christmas, staying with families for the holidays and whatever, and then we're right back in it Tuesday at Arizona. But we'll talk about those games next week. So other than that, I don't think there's too much to add, Britt. I don't know if you've got anything or any emotional outbursts you want to say.
No, I think it's a manageable week. I don't want to say it's an easy week, but it's a very manageable week. And it'll be nice for them to have a weekend off. Hopefully they can all get some much needed rest, maybe some family time. I don't know. It's been a while since they had 3 days off in a row. So it feels like
it has
3 solid home days off.
This month has been a checkerboard. It's been game, rest, game, rest, game, rest. So it'll be nice to have a couple extra days.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. For sure.
Yep.
Well, thanks everyone for watching. We're gonna go ahead and cut this off then, so we can get into the living room, sit on our butts, get the potato chips open, and watch some Avalanche play the Islanders. But we appreciate you guys for watching our episodes each and every week. We really are appreciative of it. There's nothing more that we love doing than talking hockey, having you guys listen to us, and me trying to I don't know how to put some kind of funny nuances or phrases together while Brittini has all the actual information because she can actually play hockey. But just remember, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at ClusterPuckAvs. You can follow us on Facebook, the Clusterpuck Podcast. You can go to our email, which is clusterpuckpodcast at gmail.com. If you like what you saw, go ahead and give us a like and a follow. Don't forget to follow the MHRT network to also get notified when these shows go live and other shows that are on the network throughout the week, so you never miss a beat as far as Denver sports go. We appreciate you guys for watching. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys. We wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, and I believe next week we'll see you guys. So anything to add, Brittini?
Nope, all good to go. Hope everybody has a great Christmas.
Okay. Go Avs, go, baby. Merry Christmas.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
'Cause this party is